Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here, and today we're telling a story time with me. It's about Justin Upton. I realized a couple of things during the story. One, I realized that Justin Upton was a freak show, like Bo Jackson. Maybe not like Bo Jackson, but he was a freak. All right. Also realized that our pitching coach wasn't very happy with me because he said some things to me that I still remember to this day. And well, I realized that the major league players were a little bit different than the other players that I played against in my life. So let's get into the story. You may have heard this before if you've watched my YouTube lives, but I've never made a dedicated video about this, and I'm going to do it right now. So this is back in my first spring training as a professional player. I was drafted in 2006, so in spring training 2007, I'm with the Padres, and hadn't played against major league players at this point, played short season A-ball and low A-ball. And so you get to spring training in 2007, I'm very new to spring training. I don't know how it works, even though I'm a professional player. I show up, and I think that I'm basically just going to go there and play against minor leaguers all spring training on these little side fields and get ready for my season in high A-ball. And I was wrong. The first day I got there, they told me I was going to the major league game. And I was like, okay. So I went and I got into the game against major league players, against the Chicago Cubs, against Aramis Ramirez and Alfonso Soriano and Derek Lee and Carlos Marmol. I've told these stories about them before. And then I went to a bunch of other major league games. And it was very eye-opening to play against major league players for the first time. And so we had a game against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and for some reason we played it at Chase Field? We played it at their actual stadium. Usually, you play at spring training complexes, but we played them at their actual stadium. And so we're playing, and I get put in the game. I get put at third base. And Justin Upton, everyone knows who Justin Upton is, right? Great player, multi-time All-Star. He was the first overall pick in the draft way back when. His brother BJ Upton, so BJ was a little bit older. Well, he was a little older than me, I believe. But I remember him in Virginia. He was the second overall pick. Imagine having two brothers. One goes first overall, one goes second overall. But BJ at the time was considered the greatest player ever. I used to hear about him all the time when I was younger. And then Justin was like, oh, no. I'll go one pick higher than you. I'll go number one overall. And so everyone knew who BJ Upton was. First time I ever played him actually was that summer before, 2006, when I was in low A ball. We were playing against them when I was in Fort Wayne with the Fort Wayne Wizards. And this is no joke. I've never experienced this before. I was playing third base, and see, this is the problem when I tell stories, and all these other things pop up into my head, but I got to tell them anyway. So I'm playing third base, and Justin Upton's up. Right? And again, we all know, this guy was first overall pick. First time ever, maybe the only time this ever happened to me. He took a swing and a miss on a pitch, and I could hear his bat speed at third base. Never heard this before. I remember being at third base, so I'm ready to go. I get ready, here's the pitch, he swings and misses, and I hear this as he swings. And I was like, that was his bat. And I was like, okay. I'm going to move back about 10 to 15 feet and put my heels on the outfield grass because I don't want Justin to kill me. So I've never seen that or heard it before. I don't think I ever have since. Now, I know there weren't many people in the stands, but still, in a real baseball game with actual fans and teammates and stuff, I've never heard bat speed at third base while I'm playing third. And I heard it that day, and it scared me. And so fast forward now. We're playing against the Diamondbacks now. And Justin gets in the game, and I'm in the game at third. And so now I'm like, okay, I saw this last summer, and I'm going to move back a little bit because he's really strong. He's huge, even though he's a young kid. He's probably 20 years old there, probably not even, probably 19. Hell, maybe 18, I don't know. And so it's the last inning, and we're winning by a run or two. And he hits me a ground ball. All right, so I'm like, oh. Thank God he didn't kill me. So I come up, I feel the ball, I field it, and I take my normal little shuffles, and I pat my glove. Again, at third base, I've played enough baseball to kind of understand how much time you have that internal clock in your head. And so I take a couple shuffles and I flip it over there and boom, first baseman catches it and umpire goes, safe. And it was like literally a little chopping ground, not like a slow roller, just like a routine ground ball right to me. Safe. And I was like, oh my God. Now I do remember when I got the ball and I kind of shuffled and, shuffle again. I go to throw and I do remember right as I'm about to throw, I'm like, why is this humongous man running so fast? Like you're used to when you go to throw, you're used to like have an idea of where he's going to be on the baseline, down the baseline. And he was way further down the baseline than I was anticipating for his size of a person. And so I throw it over there, and at this point I'm like, I'm in trouble, and safe, he beats it out. And so the next guy gets like a hit or something, and it comes down to the very end of the game, and we just win, all right? And I felt kind of like an idiot. Luckily, I made a nice slow rolling play also in that game, but still felt like an idiot. And so we won. It's spring training, and I'm like, as much as I feel stupid, just spring training, and I'm just kind of getting used to. It's my first time playing a major league stadium and all that stuff. And so after the game, I'm sitting down in I'm on the bus to go back to our ballpark in Peoria. And so I'm sitting there, and the bus hasn't left yet, and our pitching coach comes back. I'm sitting in my chair like this on the bus, and pitching coach comes back, and he like just leans over to me, and I'm like sitting here, and I see him leaning over, and I'm like, and I think I had headphones on. I take them off, and I'm like, hi, and he goes, don't ever, I can't say it on here, don't ever effing do that again. And he just turned around and walked back to the front of the bus. I was like, yeah, yes sir, yeah. I won't do that again. I won't do that again, I promise. I didn't say that to him. I'm thinking that in my head. And that was the first time I was like, man, I won't do that again. And I've got to learn that some of these guys, even though they may look big and strong, they're really fast. And I learned a lot that day. I didn't let that happen again. But I also learned that you don't want to piss the pitching coach off, okay? That's you make their pitchers throw more pitches than they want. And it might maybe cost them a game and maybe cost them some money. It's spring training, but still, just don't piss the pitching coach off, okay? And no one else said anything to me, but the pitching coach was pissed. So I learned a lot that day, and clearly I still remember that happened in 2007, and it's, I'm not good at math, but 14 years later, almost exactly 14 years later, and I still remember that one. I haven't made a video about it, but there's the video. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, share the video with all your friends, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Hit the bell and notification thing and all that stuff. And we'll talk to you later.
If you've enjoyed this video and want to learn more about building the elite swing, check out our new course. We have over 2 hours of content, almost 30 hitting drills. We break down the exact mechanics that you're going to want to implement into your swing. I've put the link in the description if you want to go check it out.